Yeah, that's recording. That's recording. Excuse my living room. But I have not been spending a lot of time out here because my son has taken over. And him and the cat. So they play a lot. So there's a lot of stuff on the floor with like cat feathers and stuff. My son bought this for the cat and it had a bunch of feathers on it, and all the feathers came off onto the floor. So most of the feathers are cleaned up, but there's still some feathers lying around. I can probably find more if well, I guess not in this area, but they're over there. But today is a busy morning. So what's happening is that, so usually today is Tuesday. Look at the cat licking the feather. You want to choke on that? Get that out of your mouth. You guys haven't seen my cat in a while. Say hi. Say hello, kitty. Hello. Turtles are over there too. So we're all just one big happy family and just in a new location. So we are all here. I did not leave anyone behind. So Tuesdays, today's Tuesday. Tuesday is usually my late day. So what that means is that I can get on work later and work later, right? So usually in the morning, I don't get up until I have to get to work, right? This morning is different. And the reason why it's different is because there was a storm that blew off some of my paneling on the side of my house. And so I've been working, you guys know, every weekend, right? And so part of my goal is, number one, I have financial goals, but also I have things I need to get done, right? So one of the things I had to budget for was getting my house fixed. So I was like, let me call them yesterday. That's what I was thinking. Let me call them now because I may not be able to schedule with them for like a week or two. Well, she says, well, they can come tomorrow. So they are here today. They are fixing the paneling on my house that got blown off with the storm. And there were some other things that wasn't due to the storm, but some exterior work that I wanted fixed. So like there's an outlet cover on the outside I wanted to be replaced, and there's some wood around the house where we have like stray cats in this area, and the stray cats, because it's getting cold, they have been going under the house, and my room at night, it smells like cat urine, and it's only I don't smell it throughout the whole house. It's only in my room. And the only thing I could think of is that they find their way, like the part of the wood on the outside where they get in is at the front of the house or in the middle of the house. They find their way all the way to the back. And the back, like my room is the hottest room, number one. And then number two, that's where the heater is. So I think that they have found where the warm spot is in the house. And so at nighttime, I smell the smell, and then I think it's flaring my allergies up too. So I had to get that done. So they are here. And then I applied for a position, and I have I wouldn't say an interview, but I guess it would be an interview, but they didn't label it that way. It was almost like, let's see if you're a good fit, you know. So I guess that's an interview. But while they're interviewing me, I'll be interviewing them because, you know, like I said, I'm taking this next step to be self-employed, and I do need a position that's going to fit my needs. So I'm not going to get right into a full-time job where I feel like I'm a slave, okay? That's exactly, I mean, I know it's not the same, but that's how I feel. I just feel like I'm working for other people, and I'm not getting any enjoyment out of it. So, the payoff just doesn't balance for me anymore. So I am looking for something that is flexible, that's going to meet my needs. I'm not working 5 days a week anymore. And that's what I'm looking for. So I'm hoping that works out. If not, I will keep looking. But the reason why I really wanted to get on here is because last night I was looking for something to watch, and of course, most of the movies I've been finding lately are on FXM. I have not been looking, like when I turn my TV on, I'm not just saying, hey, what's on FXM? It's like I'm scrolling through, and then usually the movie that catches my eye is on FXM. So it's not like, it's like happenstance. So there was a movie on called Ready or Not. And I was like, well, I was just thinking like maybe it's a good movie because My nephew told me to watch Ready Player One, and Ready Player One is a good movie. So I'm like, ready or not? Okay, sounds like a game, right? So this movie came out in 2017. If I heard of it, I don't remember hearing of it, but I'm going to tell you guys what it's about, okay? And I'm going to get on my phone just for. Oh shoot. Oh, okay, okay. But I thought I set an alarm on my phone. I was like, wait a minute, is my interview now? But it's in the next. I got like 30 minutes to set up, so I'm good. So okay, let me actually pull up the information about the movie. That way, if I forget something, I can actually pull it up on my phone and remember. So, and when I turned the movie on, it was already like 35 minutes in. So I was able to follow, but I'm like, okay, I would love to see how the movie starts. So after the movie went off, it came back on. So I was able to watch the first, the 35 minutes that I missed initially. So it was an interesting movie. I'll put it that way. It was interesting because I would have never watched that movie in a movie theater. And the reason why is because it's too bloody, okay? So it was still too bloody for it to be on TV, but it's probably less bloody than actually going to the movie theater. That's number one. So I don't like the blood. But it was considered a dark comedy. Well, a dark comedy horror movie, like, right? And I say dark in quotations because anything kind of, like they label it black humor or dark humor, and I'm a black person, and sometimes there's racist undertones even in how people phrase things, right? But that's how the movie is labeled. So it's a thriller, it's a horror, but it's also some funny parts of it. So that's what made me think it's interesting. So I'm going to tell you the premise. So our main character's name is Grace, okay? The movie flashes back. So there are two little boys. They're running through this huge mansion. One older boy, he has to be about maybe 6. He has his brother by the hand. The brother looks like he's about maybe 4, and he puts him in the dumbwaiter. The dumbwaiter, if you don't know what a dumbwaiter is, the reason why I know what a dumbwaiter is because I used to read a lot as a kid, and I remember reading Harriet and the Spy, and she hides in a dumbwaiter at this rich lady's house that gets information on her, and she writes about it. But anyway, he hides his brother in the dumbwaiter. And there's this man that's saying, please help me, please help me. And the little boy says, he's right here, he's here. And they shoot him with an arrow and they drag him off, okay? So that's how the movie starts. It flashes forward to present day. Present day, our main character's name is Grace. It is Grace's wedding day. This is they're having the wedding at her fiance's home mansion. He's fairly rich. I guess his family is fairly well off. The house is beautiful. She has this wedding. The fiance, they've been dating for 18 months. She talks to his mom, and she tells his mom she always wanted a family because she grew up in foster care. So they have the wedding. The wedding's over, and her now husband tells her that they have to play a game. It's a family tradition, and when there's a new family member that comes into the family, they have to play a game. And their family, they built their wealth off of games. So they're in the gaming industry, okay? Like board games, I'm guessing, right? So she says, okay. And so he's like, all you have to do is just play the game, right? So all the family members, so I'm going to tell you who's in the family. It's Grace, it's her now fiance, it is her fiance's brother. So in the very beginning, there was an older boy holding the younger brother's hand. The older brother is there. He has a wife, Snooty, you know. The brother who is the older brother earlier, he is someone that likes to drink, okay? So he's married, has a snobbish wife. They have a sister. She's married, they have 2 boys. There is their father and their mother. And there is an aunt, like an older aunt, who's like really strange. She's really strange. They have a butler and there's 3 maids, okay? So the butler and the 3 maids, they are not a part of the game, but they are a part of the movie, okay? So, so what they have to do is they tell the story. So at the table where they're about to start the game, they tell the story. The story goes that their great-great-grandfather, whoever it is that started the Wolf and his family, he was on some kind of a boat ride. It took a long time. He met this Mr. somebody. I want to say Mr. Give me one moment. I'm going to look it up for you guys. He meets a Mr. Who. Let's see. LaBelle. Okay, he meets a Mr. LaBelle. LaBelle, he plays card game with. Mr. LaBelle says, if you can figure out the secret to this box, I will basically help you get your business off the ground. The only wish that I have is that you do something for me when you get a new family member to your family. So this is a family tradition introduced to the family by this Mr. DeBelle, okay? So she has the honor of being first to draw a card. She draws a card. There's a blank card. They put it into the box. When she draws the card out, it'll tell them which game they have to play. Now, it comes out later that if the new family member draws hide and seek, that's where the bloodbath. There's going to be a bloodbath, okay? So she happens to draw hide and seek, okay? So the family says, you know, the father tells her, you know, just go ahead and hide. We'll count to 100, you know, and then we'll start looking for you. You know, we won't start looking for you until you hide. So she's like, okay, you know, whatever. So she goes into the dumbwaiter and she hides, right? The family, while she's hiding, the family is getting their weapons together. Crossbow, somebody got a gun, somebody got a hatchet, okay? Like they got their weapons together. Her husband is not happy. He's sulky, you know. So she hides in a dumbwaiter. She thinks it's all a game. She ends up coming out of the dumbwaiter. And her fiance at the beginning of the game, he said, just meet me in our room. Just meet me in my room. So she says, okay, but she hides in the dumbwaiter, and then she comes out. She goes into the room. She finds her fiance. He pulls her down beside the bed so that way nobody can see them standing up. And they find that the sister shoots the maid in the face, thinking it was her. And this when she starts like to panic, and the fiance basically tells her this is a family tradition, this is real. And this is when she's like, what? You know, because if it wasn't for the maid getting shot in the face, she would have thought it was a game. And they can hear the family talking like, oh, you got the wrong person. How do you not know it's the right person? Because obviously this person does not have on a white wedding gown. So it's clear that they're after her, okay? So the fiance concocts a plan. He says, look, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to unlock the doors. You're going to go down this hallway, because they have like servants hallways. Like there's the regular hallways, and then there's servant hallways in the back of the house. So he says, I want you to go out this way, go down the corridor, go down to the kitchen. I'm going to unlock the doors, and that way you can leave. You can get out. Of course, it's never that simple. So she basically has to fight for her life. And so everyone's after her, including the butler. The maids are trying to hide, but the 3 maids that are in the mansion, they all die by mistake. Okay, so they are basically in the middle of a cross. You know, they're in the middle, like they're killed by mistake, but they all 3 die. The butler is trying to help the family, and he does help the family. The sister and her husband have 2 kids. So at some point, Grace escapes to the farm, and she's like, "Oh wow, you're here!" You know, she talks to the little boy. Little boy has a gun, shoots her right through the hand. So yeah, there's no escape in this family. So she finally squeezes out of the raw iron that's surrounding the house. She squeezes out. Um, she jumps into the car. The car, you know how they got like the OnStar situation? It wasn't OnStar, but it was like a fictional company. And she talks to the OnStar person, and the OnStar person says, "This car has been reported stolen. I have to shut down the." Basically, he remotely shut down the car so she can't escape. So it's almost like it's funny, but it's not, you know, but it's bloody. And so what happens is that she is in the car. The butler shoots her with a tranquilizer dart, ties her up. She's in the car. He's blasting the music. He's taking her back to the house, and she kicks him while he's driving, and they flip over, and he dies. And from there, I forget how she gets back in the house. I can't remember. I don't know if they took her back in the house or how she gets back in the house. She's back in the house. The family, or what's left of the family, is surrounding her. She kills the mom. She knocks out the sister. Who's left at the end, who ties her up, they're doing their ceremony to kill her. At the very end, I think the dad. Oh, I should mention the older brother. So her husband's older brother, he tries to help her a little bit, you know. And the family rumor is that they have to do this tradition, otherwise they will die at dawn. So they don't make their sacrificial kill by dawn, the family will die. Okay. So the brother is clearly like, you know, he really don't want to be a part of it, but they don't really want to do it, but they feel like they have to. Okay. Otherwise they will die. So okay, is it going to be me? Is it going to be you? It's going to be you, right? So at the end, so the brother dies. His wife shoots him by mistake, trying to get to her, and the wife is almost like, "Look, you know where I came from. I'm not giving this up. I'm definitely all in." Okay, so she's all in for the kill, and they have not done a sacrificial kill like that since the very beginning of the movie when they were kids. So I'm guessing every other family member that came into the family, they didn't draw this hide or seek card. Okay, she drew the one card where, you know, it's going to cause the bloodbath. And the scary aunt, it was her husband that was killed in the very beginning of the movie. So anyway, at the very end, she's on the table. They got her tied. They're ready to stab her, and I guess in the chest to finish their sacrifice. And they, just in time when they're about to stab her in the chest, she moves and it stabs her in the arm, and she gets away. And they're like, "You know what? It's dawn." So they open the curtains up, and the sun is out. And they're like, "Oh, I forgot another part. Her husband ends up turning on her." Yeah, that the husband turns on her, so he's part of the reason why she's in the situation too. So in the very beginning, he's trying to help her, and then at some point he shifts, and he ends up like, "Yeah, we got to do this. You got to die." Okay. So anyway, at the end, they open up the curtains. The sun is coming through, and they're like, "So I guess we're not going to die." And no, they do die. They start exploding one by one. Okay, like big globs of blood just exploding. Okay. So, oh, I forgot to mention too. During the fight, she starts a fire, so she knocks out the dad. Yeah, she knocks out the dad with, you know, one of those lanterns with fire in it. She knocks him out and hits him with it, and then she throws it, and it starts a fire. Okay, so everyone explodes. Whoever's left in the house, even if they're knocked out but they're still alive, they all start exploding, right? And the husband at the end was like, "Well, you know, maybe we can work it out." And she was like, took off her ring, and she says, "I want a divorce." And when she throws at him, he explodes. So the chair that is dedicated to Mr. LaBelle. I don't know why it feels like he's there in some kind of spirit or something. But anyway, she goes outside. The police and the fire trucks and everything are there, and they're like, what happened to you? And she's like, at the very end, the in-laws. So she's the only survivor. She makes it. She's all like, she was so pretty in wedding dress, and her wedding dress is totally dirty, bloody, ripped apart or whatever. But she survives at the very end. So these are the themes I wanted to bring out, okay? So the theme, this is a thing. There's a lot of different theories about rich people, okay? Rich people have made deals with the devil. This is how they built their wealth. Just based on my, knowledge of the Bible, Jesus was tempted by the devil when he was fasting for those 30 days? 90 days? I can't remember. But anyway, the devil, Satan does, tempt Jesus. He says, I can give you all the wealth of the world, I can give you all the power of the world, and we know who has it now, right? So do you believe that wealthy people have some kind of a contract to essentially sell their souls? A lot of people believe it. A lot of people also believe that rich people, they do have to do ceremonial sacrifices, okay? Sacrificing parts of themselves, sacrificing their own morals and beliefs, sacrificing their loved ones. So do you believe it? In the movie it says something like, yeah, it's always something that you always knew, that rich people are different. You're like, do you believe that rich people like more money, more problems? Do you believe that? So I just thought it was very, very interesting. And there is also a theory that rich people, they tell their truth. They can't tell it, but they tell their truth in movies. They kind of give you a glimpse, and it's kind of covered up like fiction. So I don't know, but just wanted to let you know about that movie. It's called Ready or Not. Released in 2017. Let me just double check. Oh, no, 2019. I did say right before the pandemic, 2019. And it was, I think, an interesting movie. I don't like, the reason why I say interesting versus, like a lot of times I say this movie was so good, right? I can't say it was a good movie because I don't like a lot of blood. I just don't like innocent. Like, there's a part of me that's like, I don't like when innocents die, okay? So I don't like that concept. I don't like a lot of blood. There's a lot of things missing. Like, I wish they would have went more into how Grace met Alex, who is the husband. I wish that Grace would have had an ally. I know the brother was supposed to be like helpful, but he was barely helpful. But I wish she would have had one stronger ally in the movie, somebody that she could have ruled it out to the end with. So I didn't connect with Grace. I think if she would have had a stronger ally, I would have connected with that person. I didn't really like anybody. I didn't really like any other characters. And typically when I watch a movie, I have one character that I really like, I really connect with. And I didn't really connect with anyone. Grace is our main character, and she played, like, this person that played Grace, she did a good job, but I didn't necessarily like any of the characters. I didn't feel sympathetic for anybody in the movie. So but I still think it was an interesting movie, and I like the concept of playing a childhood game for your life. We played childhood games when I was a kid. We played it for candy. We played it for bragging rights, but playing for your life, that's a different level, right? Can you imagine playing tag for your life, right? So very interesting movie. And you guys tell me your thoughts in the comments, and I will get on this computer and get ready for my interview soon, and I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Take care. Bye.